Yo, Moorish America, what's up? It's your boy Sharif Ali. I'm here. We bring in some information, incredible, amazing information that you will not see. The mainstream media doesn't want this covered, but it's leaking out thanks to myself and other light bringers like me. The information is getting out there, and thanks to you for sharing this, for liking and subscribing and sharing it with all your family and friends. You're helping it spread. You're helping it change. We are changing our reality right now. Like, a lot of this stuff that we cover on this channel is starting to leak out. It's starting to be picked up and covered by people in the mainstream, people like politicians, celebrities, athletes. All types of people are starting to deal with this information. They're starting to talk about it. Why? Because you're sharing it, because you're getting the word out. So if you haven't already done so, go to the website moorishamerica.com. make sure that you share, bookmark that website and share it with everybody. Okay, so save it, bookmark it, share it with all your family and friends. moorishamerica.com. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube, of course you got to hit the subscribe button. And what else? We're on Facebook. We have a like page, Moorish America. We have a Facebook group too. It's like a growing community where everybody can share and speak and share information. So that's incredible. You have to get on both of those formats. And if you're on Twitter, we're on Twitter too. And also on Instagram, Moorish America. So real simple, Moorish America. And the information is incredible. It's spreading, and we are changing our reality, literally. The information on this channel and on the website is amazing, so you have to share that and support. Click on the PayPal button. Support so that we can keep putting this information out here and keep getting it out here and keep changing our reality. And also the book is coming soon, so make sure you support that and support the Patreon account too, okay? Because you definitely want the information to keep getting out there. You want us to keep doing it, keep bringing you new content. So we're gonna do that, and you're gonna help, and we appreciate all the help that you've done so far. And like, if this is your first time coming here, do those things that I just told you, rewind it back and make sure you checklist all that stuff. All right, so Sharif Ali, check out this great video and make sure you share it. All right, and if you didn't already, subscribe, and also go to the website moorishamerica.com. That's it. Peace.
Not what it was
Never.
when we was coming up.
Never that.
No, now it's some other shit. Now it's like, now it's turned into, yeah, it's turned into like a great, it's like that movie, Escape from New York. They turned the whole shit into a prison.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then they ran it through Liberty Island, taking everybody liberty. And now everybody is okay with being gassed. Like they got cars that drive down New York from the city, and they just spew gas, like chemtrail gas, like just spew it on the people. They got cameras literally every, what, 10 paces, there's another camera, but it's a triangular camera. So they got you from the top, side, bottom. Like these niggas is all over. They told them, they even putting cameras in the toilets now. And if you try to cover the camera in the toilet, they'll arrest you. Like, this is where it's going now, like New York. Big up to all of the Moors, and that's why we call it brutal. Because you got to be brutal to live there. What's up, brother? You got to be brutal. You got to have a certain brutish mentality to stay in that shit. And then those of us that grew up there, because, like, we the last generation, remember, music before rap. So for those of us that grew up in it, we was like the last ones to remember like the human side of New York. Now that shit is like if you live in there, bless you. But if I was to tell you anything advice, and you have children, you need to raise them where they got like grass and trees. Like if you're not making at least 500,000 off top, New York ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? Like off top, because that's the new international city of the world. That's the head of Babylon Central.
Right.
That's where they do all of their major rituals. You know, outside of the crystal city under Washington D.C., where they do the baby eating and all that shit. Other than that, New York is like the #1 place for all of that foul shit.
Target. It's a target.
Oh God.
It's a target because it's the empire of the Moors and Moors.
Yes.
So any empire of the Moors and Moors, Grenada down here also is flooded with demons.
Yes.
It's got to be flooded with demons. Ohio is another place.
Yes.
That we was
big up to the Moors in Ohio, Toledo, and all that.
Ohio, that's right.
Noble Moors up there, man. Really good Moors, but some real dirty ones too, man.
Right.
Real dirty ones did some real dirty shit up there, man.
Right, because of them cave people up there, them lot of duck and dodge the cave ways, and that's just what it is. Intertwining with the cave people, and that's just what you know. Al-Andalucia, Grenada was all about.
Yes.
It was all about stronghold, last hope. You're not coming in here.
Nah.
You're not coming over here talking that crazy stuff. But you know, Grenada, original word Grenada, like I said earlier, was what was it?
Is where we get grand from.
Hills of strangers.
There you go. There you go, Noble. You're right. And all of these people call themselves grand masters and grand governors and grandness. You can't be grand and not have the Grenadan bloodline attached to you. You can't do that. You can't be a grand, like, anytime they bring grand anything into anything, you're dealing with us as the descendants and the inheritors of the empire. But really, in my opinion, I remember when I was first coming up, like in 2000, talking about 2000, 2002, talking about the empire and talking about how we had this, and Moors was like, nah, we're a religious organization. I was like, what? Like Prophet Noble Jew Ali, peace be upon him, did not invent or create Moors. Let's keep it real. He did not. He diagnosed them and brought us back to the true understanding of who and what we are, which is why he's our prophet. But even he said, the one thing surprised me is when I see a Moor do right.
That's right.
So if them niggas was cutting up in 1913, and we still dealing with it, we got a long way to go, man.
Long way to go. Long way to go. How you doing, daughter? You okay, daughter?
For real.
You okay? Just making sure you tell okay. Now, the Noble Jew Ali was born in 1886.
Yep.
It was Moors, and we lost in 1492.
Yep.
So when he was born, it was Moors already out here, and Moors and Moors already dwelling the area. So a lot of these people that's in temples or houses, niggas, whatever you want to call them, these people basically are hiding behind Noble Jew Ali.
Yes, they are.
And would not come up and we would speak about Grenada and what's losing in 1490. Matter of fact, these people go out and celebrate January 1st, New Year's, or the day that
we
gave
fell.
the keys of paradise.
That's why it's a new year for them. That's why that's their first day of New Year.
That's right.
Because that's the day that we think. But when you read the capitulation and surrender of Grenada, we wasn't supposed to, none of the stuff that happened to us after that was supposed to happen. We were supposed to maintain our own society, like everything. Because the people that we fell to was our own people, man.
Right.
It wasn't no Caucasian people.
That's right.
It wasn't the Spaniards back then. If we used to look at them now, we would call them Dominicans or Puerto Ricans or some shit. Like these is not these Caucasian people that's calling themselves Italian and all that stuff today. They're not, and they know they're not. But they're going off the fact that we don't know.
Right.
So as long as we're debating back and forth about, oh, the Moors was this and the Moors wasn't that, and you can't be this, like, I've never heard people be so against something that they never was. That's what bugged me out. Most of people talking shit about Moors and all that, it's not even more. They just heard about this shit in the past 10 years or 5 years or 2 years, watching his DVDs or watching me or whatever, and now they got problems.
Right.
Because they feel like, how is it that we walking around here on this regal type shit before the Black Panther movement?
Right.
Like before all of that. We was talking about this shit before all of that.
For all of that.
For all of that. We was the only ones out here walking around like this. going to court, battling to say that we not Negro, black, and colored, going back and forth, saying it's, declaring what we are to say what we're not. So now when I see people now be out here and having all that, like it make me feel good. But at the same time, people, I also feel like people's a little bit too comfortable. I feel like people need to start getting checked. Like, how you gonna wear fez? Like, I be knowing so many Moors, and they tell me they Moors and this and that, and I see them, they don't never be in habit. They don't never, they'll be telling me they Moors, this and that, and I look at their ID, and they should be like mad Christian square, like, tired of it, man. Tired of it. Because it's not right. And at the same time, I'm looking at the Africans. Now they starting to put in work. They talking about kicking the white people out with no compensation for their land. I'm with that. I'm with that. They talking about
South Africa.
Yeah, most South Africa. Same thing. Big up to Chad. Big up to Cameroon. We're having a lot of good conversations with people from there and that government. And they not playing. They're not trying to continue this colonialization mentality for the next 100 some odd years. So what I'm seeing now is that the so-called blacks in America are in the same place that the so-called South Africans in them was right before they popped their shit off. You know what I mean? So now is the best time for us to show unity amongst each other and to let people know, like, we actually do have an empire. We don't have to necessarily go to Africa to get it. We are in Africa right now. Like, these are not new concepts.
Right, that's right.
So I feel like this is the best time for those of us that understand who we are as Moors or Moorish Americans, right?
Right.
As Moorish Americans or just conscientious people that's tired of being under somebody's boot. That we stand up and be like, look, man, this is what we want to do. And do it.
And I don't mean rep you do the tears Islam mode. And for anybody that think that when I say do the tears, something came to my mind. Boom, and I seen this comment, and I said, I'm gonna confront this comment. I said 3 months ago. And I said, when I get what it do, I said, I'm gonna say this. I said, anybody that think that we're doing this for views, I don't even look at my views. Don't think about we doing this for views. We doing this to show unity so y'all can stop trying to do it on your own.
Word.
You can look at Dolo. Dolo can't do it, Dolo.
Word.
Dolo connected with the Prince.
And vice versa.
Come on now.
Vice versa. I started watching the brothers' joints because I've been a big proponent of the fact that if we freed and accepted them, I don't know how then now we're now going into their version of Freemasonry or whatever you want to call that stuff to get down with them. Like, if we use that to civilize them, why would then we now have to go into it ourselves? To me, that's maladapted. To me, that's like teaching a baby how to change his diaper, and then in order for me to see if it worked, if he understand it, I put the diaper on and then get the baby to change me. Like, that shit, it don't make sense.
Right, you kill off all the strong Moors and Murs, Niagara Falls, you know, Nigger Falls.
Yep.
Kill off all the magical Moors and leave the weak ones left. So the weak ones that was left was easy to be manipulated to go into secret society, Prince Hall Masonry, Hall mean conceal, and know how to conceal Masonry when you come out. Know how to mislead your people and get them back in slavery. That's why Noble Drew Ali said, be careful, your own brother will put you back in slavery. That's Prince Hall Masons. That's another comment I read. The slave Masons be commenting on my videos. They don't do it no more, but they used to. And when I used to see that, I was like, okay, y'all just want to put my people back in slavery, and y'all mad because I'm exposing and pulling the cover off every secret society in Islam.
But that's the dope thing about it, because up until, but besides you, I would say maybe C. Freeman used to bust them down crazy. Brother Dolo, peace to him. He walked me up into the main joint on 21st Street, and he, like I said, we literally just walked in off the street and they treated that man like he owned the place. So that's how I knew that you don't gotta study 35, 50 years to be something you naturally was born to be. And that's when I also realized, like, a lot of, if not 90% of most of these people that are in this community that are talking this knowledge shit are all Freemasons too.
All of the slave Masons.
And the way that I know it is, Mo, because out of all of the history that we've read,
Genius.
inshallah, that we've read, that we've gone through, that I've like researched, every scholar that ever showed me a map always showed me that goddamn Mercator map, the one that showed like Europe is bigger than Africa and this one is bigger than that one, and how Germany in real life is really on the northeast of Europe, but the shit is in the middle of the shit or whatever. What I'm saying is, if our brothers and sisters who was our elders knew that these crackers lied about everything, reconstructed the history with everything, when they knew everything with that, why did they still give us the same map to give us the same askew version of the history? Meaning that if we know that all civilizations form in the South first, then why are you telling me, showing me the shit with the North at the top, the South at the bottom, and this and that?
Right.
Especially if you as an Asiatic man or black man or African or whatever, whatever they call themselves, especially if you knew that that was another means to control me mentally. Why not give me the real map? Why not flip the shit upside down? Say, you know what? They didn't just lie about your history, nigga. They lied about everything. So let's start looking at the map this way. Let's start, you know what I'm saying, doing it. That never happened. This the old
Spain right here.
Right here.
This Granada, Spain right here. You can look it up, Google it with your lazy fingers, and it say Spanish Florida.
That's right.
Florida means flowers. Spanish.
Isle of Flowers.
That's it. And Spain means our women, our honeys, our bunnies. That's the origin of the word Spain. So we used to give the honey bunnies
España. España. There you go. And here we are getting closer to what you call it, the time
daughter,
now.
how you doing, daughter? Monkeys
when they
out
don't
here
have
don't respond back to the king of the Moors.
Nah.
These monkeys are cocky. The stiff neck, the neck so stiff.
Well,
like
what it is that this is where they all. This is where a lot of the Ashkenazim Jewish people came to get refuge after the Depression, because they were getting kicked out of New York through what was that dude Stuyvesant and them. They was breaking them down and shit. So around the time that they created NAACP, the mainstream Caucasians, right, the so-called Protestant Gentile Caucasians, right, they're the what they call like the Hammerskins. They're like the ones that put in like the major work. So these are the lynchers, these are the KKK's Grand Dragon guys, right? The people who fund them are the Ashkenazi Jewish people. You see what I'm saying? But it used to be that the hardcore Protestant whites used to
Caucasian monkeys.
Right, they used to control the blacks, but they wanted to stop doing that after World War II, because they wanted to go into their white now infrastructure, because from building that up. So the Jews step in and said, well, we'll be the ones to act as the buffer between you and them, and we'll use the arts as the means to engender them into that.
Right.
So to do that, they had to funnel money into art-based programs that were going to be institutionally bringing blacks into the understanding that they could make money with Caucasian people more than they made themselves. Because up until that point, black people were totally self-sufficient. The Black Wall Streets was popping. So they started to funnel money to the people that they had on the tape, people like Booker T. Washington, W.B. Du Bois, A. Philip Randolph, Ida B. Wells, Madam C.J. Walker,
Moriscos.
Yeah, all of them people that was into they used to do like homosexual rituals at the Langston Hughes house. Langston Hughes was involved with that. All of that Harlem Renaissance shit was to take everybody out and to make it so that way from that day to this day, whenever you think of black leadership, you don't think about academia. You always think about artists. That's why niggas will think more about what Jay-Z say about something than Henry Louis Gates or one of these other niggas. You see what I'm saying? Right. Nat Turner is somebody that's George Washington Carver, for instance. They'll big his inventions up, but they won't get into the fact that them devils castrated him at 13, Henry Ford and them. You know what I'm saying? They won't talk about that to the point where this man spoke so high they thought he was gay. But he would rather them think he was gay for them to find out that them white people killed him like that. But again, this is the greatest mind.
Monkeys rape you.
Yes, this is the greatest mind. We wouldn't have, fuck peanut butter. We wouldn't have, he made, just one day, just Google yourself. Just Google inventions by George Washington Carver. You see what I'm talking about. Nobody may have made anything more than him. So I say all of that to say that the division that is in the so-called black community is coming from a generational agent-based culture that was infused into black people to make them think that it's better to be, hey mommy, yeah, like inside, right here, that it's better for them to, that it's better for you to get an education and go to work for somebody than to be self-educated and employ yourself. Like, this is the level of the game. Greetings, how are you? You know, see, she had to join on it. So she had a double crossing. So somebody in her family probably Jesuit or something like that.
Yeah, and that double cross always stands for the double cross of the Moors.
Right.
People crossers and the Caucasian crossers.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. So I say all of that to say again that this whole basis of blacks not having wealth and things like that, all of that was orchestrated by blacks.
Right.
By blacks today who they started to refer to as the talented 10th, or all of these blacks that to this day still go to the Jack and Jill programs and do all of the cotillions and all that. They try to get me in that shit. My grandmother been trying to
started to join the Jack and Jill's.
You already know that? Yeah, they was grooming us, nigga. They was getting us ready for that. Yeah, they was trying to get us ready. Jack and Jill's, big. That's that whole boule.
Yeah.
Talented 10th, upwardly mobile. What do they say? Good blacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is that whole thing. So all the Oprahs and these type of people, they groom their children into this thing. So the Easter Star thing, the Freemason
evil
thing.
stars.
Thank you. Easter Star thing, Freemason thing. That stuff is grown. They've been grooming people into that shit from, remember Weebelows and the Girl Scouts?
Yeah.
That's how they get you first. Then by the time you get it, then you get into high school. It's what? It's the varsity. The varsity, right? Then from the varsity,
sophomore first.
Sophomore. There you go. The sophomore. Soften you up, right? Sophomores first.
Monkeys, how you?
Then they bring you into the varsity. Then after high school, you graduate varsity, do all that. Then you get into what? You go into college. Now it's what? It's pledging. It's rushing. Right? They rushing the Moors, right? They rush you, and then after rush
means backwards. The origin of the word rush means to go backwards.
Islam. Then from the rush you get to what? Then you got to go through the haze, right? You got to go through being hazed.
Yeah.
Then that's when they whip you and beat you and bring you into the plantation system. Then from there, you go into the job network. Then what happened? You got to get into the Freemasonry now. And now to get into the union, you got to get into the Freemason.
Right.
To be the FOP, you got to be a
whole
Freemason.
steps.
To be a Teamster, you got to be a Freemason. Be a carpenter, you got to be a Freemason. Like, who made that? Who made this shit?
I told y'all that everybody under the government, everybody that works at the welfare, it could be working as secretary at a stupid job.
You could be the janitor.
Exactly. Talk about it. The lowest job, you got to take the oath
have
of
an
Freemason.
oath on you. You got to have it on you. And if you don't have the oath on you,
my daughter's like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that spirit. And if you don't have the oath on you, they'll compromise you. Or they doing shit like this now. It used to be you go sell your soul, they give you the paperwork, they give you a little OTO contract. That's the music industry. Everybody in the music industry, they give you the little OTO, Ordo Templi Orientalis. The Ordo Templi Orientalis is that Crowley shit. OTO. Ordo Templi Orientalis, which in Latin would be the Order of the Templars of the Orient. Now we know the Orient, it's the Moors. We know the Templars, it's the Moors. Right? So, Aleister Crowley, the head beast, he's the one that got all the rock niggas into it to do that. So all of the music industry contracts are OTO contracts. So that's why they got to do the crowd diving. That's what all Crowley used to do. He used to do crowd diving. He used to do the light pills. I mean, he used to jerk off into little like pellets, like pills, and they give them to his followers. They would take the shit. All of the pissing in the crowd, breaking the instruments, all of that is him. So when you see them do that shit, they're possessed. Like they're being possessed by this dude because he the one do that. So long story short, most of these people that are involved in these situations are part of that.
Right.
So it's not like they have a choice. They gotta do shit. So it's not like, okay, I'll just sell my soul. How the new shit now is, it used to be you would join the order, sell your soul, get your money, 7 years blow up. Then if you don't bring people in to get sacrificed from that 7 years, you get sacrificed, right? But now they got the new shit where they got the new shit now where you could boy, they got the new shit where boom, like Ross. Perfect example. Ross come in, look, I want to keep a portion of my soul. So what I'll do, I'm gonna give a portion. I get like 10% to Puffy, I get 10% to Baby or whoever, and then I keep the other 40 with an option. You know what I'm saying? The other 50 with an option. And then when my soul or whatever gets roomed up with him and it's about to be option, I go to him and say, okay, well now I got a label. I could give you Gunplay. I could give you this person. Right. And then now I got a new option on my soul. I could buy it back now. See what I'm saying? And double down on it. So now if I want a better deal now with that piece of my soul I just bought back, I cannot go to somebody else, Universal or somebody, hey, y'all got this movie coming out. I want to get my shit on the soundtrack. How much it costs to get in? Oh, this much? Okay, boom. Take this quarter of my soul.
Literally.
Yeah.
Other people's souls.
Broker. This is called This is not really soul selling. This is soul brokering now.
Yeah.
This is like a brokerage firm for souls. The irony is, the only people that could absolve you from that shit is Moors.
Break it down like you did last time.
We're the only ones that could pray you out of that.
Right.
Because we set up the Freemasonry thing to keep them from eating each other.
35 to 50 years. When you heard him say 35 to 50 years, that what Duke said was that's what Caucasians had to do. Study for 35 to 50 years to come close to me. I keep telling you, Caucasians can't come in at 360 degrees.
No, they shouldn't.
These are pale people from the caves. These are cave people, cave dwellers. Niggas can't come close to me. Arm lift. Stay the fuck out my arm lift.
Right.
You can't come close to me. You have to study 35 to 50 years to come close to me. So only older Caucasian people came close to us.
Yes.
They're the ones we trusted. Right. Because you couldn't really do shit.
This is why the prophet said, go to those who know law. And speaking of clear, mild-mannered tone, and you will receive a favorable reply. Because those are the ones that study 35 to 50 years. They all old judges, right? They all mad old, right? They all they done locked niggas up. They done been doing rituals and all types of stuff.
They done been through it.
They done been through it. So those are the ones you go through because they know the difference.
They're gonna respect
between a real Moor and one that they got in the pocket. Because most of the Moors that's in the pocket are Freemasons.
Right.
And you can't be
slave masons.
Thank you. You can't be the slave and the master at the same time. You can't be the object and the subject at the same time. You gotta play the position that you dealt. So in my understanding and coming up, especially in this thing that we call the consciousness community, whatever, all of them niggas was Freemasons.
Right.
That's why you ain't never seen me on no couches with them niggas after a certain time.
That's right.
All of them was Freemasons. All of them. One of them, I remember, man, and the wild shit is they would like give a nigga hints, but I was so into the culture, I'm not even looking at what they showing me.
Right.
Case in point, one day went with this person in the conscious community. Oh yeah, Moore, it's good to see you. You know what? I gotta run up here and pick up this check. You come with me real quick. Cool. Go with him. It's in a bar. Ain't nothing. I've been in a bar before. Ain't nothing. Like boom. So he's like, oh my man, he's upstairs waiting for me. I was like, oh cool. He said, well, just come upstairs. I'll get the check and we bounce. Cool. I just ran into my man on a humble. This is right there in Fort Greene, right by where
Reverend Dunlap Church?
No, right where that mural of Biggie used to be.
Oh, okay.
Right there by where Mashu used to be, where the pizza store is, over there on St. James.
Right.
Go up there. The bar was called Frank's Lounge.
What was
I
the bar
believe.
called?
I think it was called Frank's.
Oh, okay.
Go upstairs. Wait for my man. It's mad dark. Boom. Turn on the light. He go in the back room to talk to homie, get what he getting. And I'm sitting there, and I look around, and it's mad beds all over the top of the bar. But I mean like mattresses, like all types of bed. No, like the bar was downstairs. Then you go upstairs where he went to go see the dude who had his check. So when he walked in, he just went into the ante room where the dude was at. So I'm waiting for him to come out.
Yeah.
But while I'm waiting there, I happen to look around and I'm doing analysis, and there's nothing but all of these beds around. Right? Just mad beds. Right? So how old was I? I think I was like 21 at the time. So I'm not really doing the knowledge until years later. I wind up meeting homie, seeing the brother again, and he looked real bad now. And I asked him, I was like, yo, G, you know, how's it been, blah, blah, blah. He was like, yo, man, I had to stop doing all that shit I was into. I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, more, you know, I was doing them rituals and doing them orgies and shit. I'm like, orgies and shit, where? He said, remember that time I went to the whatever? Right. He said, I was getting the bread from my grandmaster who was paying for the spot. Because that's where we was doing the shit at. So I looked at this thing, I was like, so you had me in an orgy there, nigga? I was like, oh, man.
See, this is
why I'm saying, you can't just be...
This is what I mean about these older niggas. Them older niggas be on some bullshit trying to get... See, what he just said was Moorish Science. That's a Moor who likes to tell his experience. Now, Islam to that. Now, my situation was the same way. It was a Moor that I wanted to go do target practice, and I called up one of my Moors that had some land so I could target practice out there. And he told me a Moor was coming out there, so he'll come take me because I didn't know how to get out to his piece of land. We go out there. They want me to take an oath with Moors. And I'm like, same thing that the wrap that be around people's head was around their waist.
Yep.
It was mad of them, and I went crazy up in there, and I went psycho. Told me to get out of there.
Yep.
So it was wintertime, so I'm outside standing out there. Like I said before, it was an Indian that told me in 1999 never take the oath, and I seen him again. And he was like, did you do it? I said, man, he just kicked me out.
Wow.
Good. And everybody that came out that lodge, after they had their little 15-20 minute meeting, gave me so much honor for not taking that.
For not going.
They was like, yo, they looked at me like the leader. They looked at me like the leader that brought me there. I don't want to say his name, but I said his name on other documentaries. The Moor that brought me there was the Moor that corrected my name, the Dolo Godfather El Bay. He the one said I was Godfather. So my whole thing was like, when he brought me there, he was the leader of that pack. Affirmation. When he left, oh, it's over?
That shit just, oh, it's still going. Siri was trying to look up.
Was like, who was that?
Right. It's still going.
Basically, he basically wasn't the leader after we left.
Yes, you were.
All them people that was, there was about 16 dudes up in there, black niggas. All there was Moors in a secret society, and that was their secret society, and this piece of land way out in Auburn or Albany, somewhere where we went. I don't even want to say that that's, y'all just figure out yourself. But the point is that when you don't take the oath, you become the leader.
Yes. Because that's the trick.
Yeah, that's the trick.
That's the trick. The trick is, the big secret is they don't got the secret.
That's
the big
right.
secret is you're the secret, and they've been fronting all these years like it was them when it's really you.
Inside.
They got a ritual that they do in the high orders, what they call the order of the trapezoid, or the order of Memphis and Mizraim, where they go get a black bum off the street, and they blindfold him, put shit in his ears so he can't hear, and then they bring him.
I hold my father down.
Yup. You already know, Mo. Yup. They get him and they put him in the throne, and they blindfold him, and they bring all the white boys in to sit at his
Caucasian
feet,
monk.
kiss his feet, and then the Grand Master, whoever's bringing them through the ritual, says, now this is your father, your God, and they call him something else. Your father, your God, and your brother, your son, or whatever. Always hold him down. Never allow him to sit back on his throne when he get up. Yup. Said that's your job. That's your oath. That's the oath y'all take.
And that's why Puffy made a song, Y'all can't hold me down.
Yup.
Oh no.
Yup.
I got to keep on moving.
Yep.
He made that song responding to them.
Yep.
But after he made that song, they raped him.
Yes.
Now Puffy is the most homosexualist rapper in the industry.
Yeah.
Because after he made that song, he was already on this bullshit. But them Caucasians tore him apart
They
after
got
that.
it. But if you look at some of the early, look up a group called the Wise Guys. And when you look up that group, you're gonna see a bunch of Moors dancing with fezzes on, and Puffy was right there with them niggas. That's when I knew Puffy back in the day with my father, blessed dead. Charles Rogers used to do publicity real big in the game. And when I first met them at this thing called Rappers Against Racism, right there at the in front of the Adam Clayton Powell building.
Rappers Against Racism.
Yep. It was called Rappers Against Racism, and they had another one called Sister in the Name of Rap that came after that. Where they was trying to bring more women in. And Puffy was a great organizer in there. But after that, that's when the whole Andre Harrell thing popped off, Uptown happened, and then that's the rest is history, you know? But yeah, a lot of it is just based on the fact that we're not standing in our place.
Right.
So everybody is sitting in the seat until we come and tell them to get up.
Right. It's a lot of slave masons out here, and
That's the holdup.
And that's holding us back. How you doing, Sonny Boy?
That's the holdup.
No doubt.
That's
the slave masons holding us back, and we are people that didn't take oaths in the secret society.
People took oaths to us.
Right.
People pledged fealty to us. People pledge allegiance to us, Moab. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Moors that's now coming out talking about how some Moors are coming out saying how the free national name ain't Moabite anymore, how now it's American. Like, these Moors will remake everything just to not get right, just to not let niggas get right. Like, we just gelling into that. Now y'all want to switch it up into some other shit. It's crazy.
All these they do, them black niggas do is go to secret society, house niggas come out and lie.
And lie.
The whole shit they pay homage to Moors though in the secret society though.
Yes, they do.
So that's what saves their ass. That's what makes sure the karma don't get them. Because as long as you praise Allah, G-O-D, the higher force, and the ancestors that made all this through the Most High, secretly or publicly, as long as you do it, that's why you'll keep rising. That's why Caucasians keep rising. Because all the secrets that they put in between, the symbolic bullshit, niggas put all in, you be like, why these niggas still rocking? Because niggas pay homage. You just heard them say, you get the old man, niggas pay homage secretly. Niggas don't pay homage secretly to God, and niggas don't pay homage publicly to God or ancestors. Matter of fact, niggas are saying fuck Federal, Federal who just died, son.
Federal Santana?
Yeah, Federal Santana. Niggas is saying fuck him, like forget all. Like niggas is
they
crazy.
They don't have no respect.
Niggas just don't have no respect.
They don't have respect for life or death.
Right, and that karma gonna get you.
Yo,
we ain't gonna talk your ears off.
Word.
We just want to show y'all that we together forever, brothers forever.
Unity. It's a great man, great brother.
Great man, great brother.
All great brothers. You know, we gotta be here. The sister holding us down. You know what I'm saying? We out here in Andalucia, and like I said, man, it's wide open for everybody. They can't. If Muslims, as we are, as Moors as we are, as Mohammedans as we are, whatever you want to call it, we have a distinct identity that's not predicated on anybody else. Nobody else's identity is predicated on this. So when I'm walking down the street like this, people rolling up just today, just now, I'm rolling up, this dude walked up on me and was like, "You're from Saudi Arabia?" I said, "No, I'm not. I'm from Morocco." He said, "Oh, Morocco, what part?" He said, "I'm from Casablanca." I said, "Okay, I got my Rif peoples out there in the Rabat and in elements or whatever, but I'm in the real Morocco, the Maghreb Al-Aqsa, the Morocco of the farthest west, the Bled El Siba." The nigga looked at me and was like, I didn't even know people remembered that. Right?
Wow.
Straight Arab dude. Straight Arab dude. I'm thinking he's Caucasian. He's like, "No, I'm from Syria or some shit." I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's what I love about it.
Islam.
Islam.
And it's not even so much of it, because even without this, we are this. You know what I'm saying? It's just that when you get so comfortable, like I'm so deep in the game, I can't even wear baseball hats no more. Like I'm so deep in, I can't wear Scullies. Not even because I can't. It's just the fact that I'm just at a level now where it's just, I don't feel right in it no more. So even if I don't have this on, or even if we don't have a fez on and nothing, the vibrational energy that you build up in understanding yourself is such that it's gonna bring Moors to you.
Right.
I'll be walking down the street, niggas just be like, Islam, or people you wouldn't even know.
Right.
White people, black people. One time we was crossing in Tuscarora, and this cracker was in the joint, and he beeped his horn. It was like, he was like, peace, brothers. I've been to the east. Like, stop the traffic. Like,
all day. That's how.
Come on now. And then no coincidence. And then I see these little house, like you said, the house, Freemason Moors. Niggas like Cam Newton and these niggas. These niggas been seeing us out there where he live at when we do our summits. That nigga Cam Newton live right upstairs. So he been seeing us for years out there around Mech Day with the fezzes on, with the turbans, all of that. To the point where one day the Grand Sheik hollered at him and he fronted him off. So when I saw this nigga with the brimless hat one day, it really threw me for a loop. Like, okay, so now niggas is giving, now we not calling them fezzes, we calling them brimless hats now. Okay. Then when they asked him, well, where you get that from? They said, oh, I saw this article with Andre 3000, and he had one of them, right? So again, I'm looking at these niggas go all around the mulberry bush. Let's find people who look like Moors instead of real Moors, because the real Moors is gonna tell us stuff that we don't really want to know.
Right. The cave days. Nigga don't want to hear about the
good old days.
Good old cave days. Nigga don't want to hear about them days.
Good old days. Word.
Yeah,
word.
This my brother. You already
Islam.
know, man.
Islam.
Already know.
Peace to the great Navy. Peace to all of the Moors. Islam. Thank you, Queen, for holding it down. And we're gonna go eat.
Islam, Mo.
Islam.
Yeah, that was beautiful.